Welcome to Toastmasters Time, the show that's got everybody talking. My name is Manoj Ramanan and I'm excited to be the host for today's edition of Toastmaster Time. Just like a typical Toastmaster meeting, this show will have a few speeches followed by an evaluation. And to walk us through what is the agenda for today is our very own evaluator, Seema Giri. Seema, welcome to the show. Can you share what is in store for us today?
Thank you, Manoj. We have a great lineup. Our first speaker is Dara Connolly. She's America's bully buster. And her speech title is called 2 Words. Don't worry, she's going to have many more words in her speech, but she's going to leave you with 2 words that's going to change your life. And our second speaker is PJ Quesada. His speech title is Beyond Techniques, the Voice of Style. Now, content is taught, right? We're really focusing on the content all the time, but he's here to tell us how to refine our speaking style. He's going to give some practical tips, which I can't wait to hear. Manoj, it's going to be a great show. Back to you, Manoj.
Thank you, Seema. I'm eager to listen to the speeches and to your evaluation of the speeches. The first speaker today is Dara Connolly. She's America's bully buster and she's been working with women for the past several years to help prevent abuse and bullying. Welcome to the show, Dara.
Thank you, Manoj. Excited to be here.
Fantastic. So what's been your experience at Toastmasters like?
Well, Toastmasters has been great for me. I've been in it for about 1.5 years, and I can't believe the learning curve from the beginning to where I am today. I've learned so much. I love the organization.
Great. Which club are you a part of, Dara?
Chamber Chatters in Pleasanton.
In Pleasanton. Okay, great. And walk us through your journey in Toastmasters.
Well, I kind of stumbled into it the first day. A friend said, why don't you go check out this club? I had no idea what to expect, didn't research it, and I walked in. It was a contest day, so it was really throwing me off. And I was hooked ever since because it was so fun. The people are so welcoming, and now I've just realized how much I've learned and completed almost 2 paths. And it's just been really a great journey so far.
That's great. I remember seeing you at a contest last year.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Are you ready for the speech today?
I am. I'm ready to go.
Excellent. As you get ready for your speech, let me walk the audience through your speech objectives for today.
Okay.
So Dara is going to be speaking from the Pathways Project Leadership Development. The purpose of the project is to exemplify the point of view or message that you would convey as a professional level speaker. Her speech title is 2 Words. 2 words, Dara Connolly. Dara Connolly, 2 words.
I have 2 words that can change your life. Are you ready? You can. You can. As in you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. You see, we often have the wrong idea about confidence. We believe that it comes solely from our genetics or our personality, but that's not entirely true. Did you know? You can become more confident by doing 3 things. 1 is taking a chance, 2 is believing that you can, and 3 is being persistent to never give up. When I was 14 years old, I convinced my parents to take me skiing because all my friends already knew how to ski and I wanted to ski too. So we piled up the car and we drove all the way out to the Poconos to stay at the beautiful Mount Airy Lodge. If you're from the East Coast, you'd remember that joke. Well, as soon as we got there, my parents could have put me in ski school, but no. They dropped me off at the Bunny Hill to learn the ski. Well, they go and enjoy the beautiful Mount Airy Lodge. So after a few hours of sloshing around, I make a bold statement. Mom, Dad, I'm ready to take the chairlift to the top of that mountain. Now my mom makes an even bolder statement. Why don't we get your father, who's never been in skis before in his entire life, to take the chairlift to the top of that mountain with you? Now you have to understand, my dad was not at all prepared to ski. Picture John Travolta from Grease. That was my dad. In fact, that day he had on jeans, a leather jacket, and was smoking a cigarette. So when my dad walked into the ski rental shop He's about 6'2". They gave him these tiny little skis that barely came up to his knees. It was a sight to be seen. So John Travolta and I head on up to the top of that mountain to ski our very first run together. Now I'm a teenager. I'm ready to take a chance. So I look for the steepest slope that I can find and I start making my way towards it. Of course, I go about 5 feet and I fall. But I'm believing that I can, and I'm persistent, so I get back up and I try again. Now my dad is watching me and he thinks, no way do I want any part of what she's doing. So he takes a different kind of chance. He snaps out of his skis, picks them up with one hand, and with a cigarette in the other, John Travolta calmly struts down the entire slope of the mountain. He's on foot and he beats me to the bottom. Taking a risk, believing that you can, and being persistent to never give up equals confidence. My name is Dara Connolly, and I teach this in my workshops when I work with women to speak up to bullies and prevent abusers and predators. In what areas of your life do you need to exude more confidence? Is it at work? In your personal relationships? A few years later, I was living in Colorado. Now, everybody in Colorado either skis or snowboards. So I make another bold statement. I'm going to be a snowboard instructor. I was not prepared to be a snowboard instructor, but I took the chance. I went to the tryouts, and they wanted us to do this giant slalom course. Now, at the time, I'm in my 20s. I didn't have a lot of money, so I bought these cheap snowboard boots. In fact, they didn't even fit me properly. My heels used to ride up, and I had taught myself how to snowboard while balancing on my toes. So here I am in the middle of the tryouts balancing, and I hear the head coach yell, "Put your heels down!" So I do, but I'm not used to riding that way. So I have to relearn how to snowboard in the middle of the tryouts. So I start to fall. I'm falling a lot. Now, lucky for me, they have a saying up on the mountain, if you're not falling, you're not trying hard enough. So a few hours go by, and everyone's standing around waiting to find out who made the Colorado snowboard team. And I thought, hey, I had fun out here, made a few friends, had some laughs. Wasn't really expecting to make the team. But do you know, when I opened that envelope, I had the gold star. I made the Colorado snowboard team? I'm just as surprised as you are. Friends, in closing, I'm here to tell you that whatever dream you have or goal that you want to achieve, don't dismiss it. Don't think it's too far out there. You can. You can do it. But you have to be willing to take that very first chance. Believe that you can. And when you fall, because you will inevitably fall, be persistent to get back up, point those hypothetical skis down the slope. Try not to hit John Travolta. And enjoy the ride, because you never know what you can accomplish.
Wow, that was a powerful speech. It was inspiring and also pretty vivid. What did you think about the speech, Seema?
Manoj, that was an amazing speech. I was standing just at the edge wondering what are those two words going to be. And I was actually surprised and not surprised that it was "you can." So many times there's so many things that are very, very simple that we tend to forget, and this was such a great reminder. Dara's speech was very well structured. She had great visuals and brought it back to simple based on her real life experiences. So it was really a great reminder, and you could tell that she is such an experienced speaker, very insightful and entertaining. Thank you, Manoj.
Thank you, Seema, for that insightful evaluation. Our next speaker is PJ Quesada. PJ is a third-generation family business owner and a founding member of Pittsburgh Speakeasy Toastmasters. He's always ready to help his Toastmasters find their voice. Welcome to the show, PJ.
Thank you, Manoj. It's great to be here.
Excellent. And how long have you been a Toastmaster, PJ?
I joined the Toastmasters Club in Pittsburgh, California in 2012.
Wow, so 7 years.
7 years.
Walk me through your journey.
Well, I did a lot of speech and debate in college, in community college, and when I started getting in with the community in Pittsburgh through the Rotary Club and the Chamber of Commerce, a few other community members thought it would be a great idea to put together a Toastmasters Club to try and develop local leadership, and I just went right for it.
Great, and you've been at it for 7 years and counting.
7 years and counting.
Great. Are you ready for your speech, PJ?
I think so.
Fantastic. As you get ready for your speech, let me walk the audience through the objectives of your speech.
Great.
PJ is going to speak from the project Understand Your Communication Style, and the purpose is to learn about different communication styles and identify the impact on your speaking. Please welcome PJ Quesada, Beyond Technique, the Voice of Style. Beyond Technique, the Voice of Style, PJ Quesada.
In Toastmasters, I've noticed that we teach a lot of skills. We teach organization, we teach how to choose a topic, and we teach something we call vocal variety. But I want to help you understand why vocal variety is so important. When we use our voices and we perform our content, we can paint a very vivid picture of our message for our audience. Style is what it's all about, people. We learn vocal variety so that we can leverage the best of ourselves so that we can develop our own unique style. And here's how we do it. In order to bring meaning and personality to your spoken words, there's 3 main levers that you can pull. The first is voice quality. Then there's emotional appeal, and finally, all important, rhythm. So let's start with voice quality. Of course, it begins with clarity. At the very least, what you're talking about does need to be intelligible. How you speak and how clearly you enunciate your words, how you speak and how clearly you enunciate your words is a very important indicator of how polished you are as a speaker. Next, you want to pay attention to your resonance. Some people speak very softly and they're not putting much air through their lungs. But if you put a lot of air through your lungs and you use your abdominal muscles, if you put a lot of air through your lungs and you use your abdominal muscles, you can resonate your voice using your entire anatomy. Now, volume is self-explanatory. I think it's the most underutilized part of vocal variety. Because when you speak loudly, the next words that you use can be spoken at any volume. And the importance of those words will be carried on. And this is what helps you develop your tone. It's this overall color, feeling, warmth, attitude about your voice. And the tone is one of the things that helps you communicate your emotion. Emotional appeal is the second most critical lever that you can pull when you're trying to communicate your message effectively. And there's a lot of ways to do it. My favorite way is to think upon performances that you've seen in your past. Movies, on stage, maybe a rock concert, could even be a popular political speech from our nation's history. Find those words and those people that deliver those words that moved you and borrow from their inspiration. Program it into your own so that you can bring that emotion into your speech. So as a couple of examples, you can deliver something totally neutral, matter-of-factly. You can also deliver very somber news. It can be indignant news. Sometimes you're very upset. But it can be lighthearted. It's that emotional appeal that you consider that when you put your voice through your body, that entire meaning can be transferred to the audience. Finally, there's rhythm. A rhythm, just like the drums, is all about how you measure your speed, your flow, and your pacing. The importance of your words can be matched by the space in between them. One of my favorite actors, Alan Rickman, exemplified this beautifully with his performance as Professor Snape in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Many of you are surely wondering why I have summoned you at this hour. It's come to my attention that earlier this evening, Harry Potter was sighted in Hogsmeade. Now, should anyone, student or staff, attempt to aid Mr. Potter, they will be punished in a manner consistent with the severity of their transgression. Furthermore, any person found to have knowledge of these events who fails to come forward will be treated as equally guilty.
Marvelous. There are so many examples, Alan Rickman being my favorite, of how a performer can charge words not just with information, facts, and emotion, but true meaning in order to really move the audience. And when you're talking about cinema, it's one thing, it's scripted. When you're trying to deliver your message to an audience and you're really trying to reach them, sometimes you have to go a little bit off script. And so when you develop your own speaking style by using a combination of your vocal quality, emotional appeal, and rhythm, you can get yourself beyond the techniques that you learn, and you can define your very own style.
Wow, that was insightful. And at the same time, it was just great to listen to Alan Rickman's voice as well. Seema, what did you think about this speech?
It was amazing, Manoj. And that's what I usually say for all the speakers that come here, because they're so experienced, they're so insightful. And through our Toastmasters program, what PJ walked us through is what we go through on a weekly, monthly basis that we attend the meetings. But I really liked what he said, using your voice through your body can make such a difference. And I never thought about it in that way. Using your voice through your body. We have so many, I guess, equipments, you can say, within ourselves that we forget. I forgot. I never even thought of it that way. So that's a really great way, a new insight for me to think, to utilize all the tools that I already possess. And utilizing our voice, the emotional appeal, that was also something different that I did not hear about it before. So it was, even though we've done so many speeches, I could walk away with 2 tools that I could use in my own speeches.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Seema, for that feedback. Now we are going to go to a quick public service announcement.
Name an effective political leader in history who couldn't speak well.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
There aren't any.
Because when it comes to a disease...
Freedom requires leadership, and leadership requires oratory. You have to speak to be heard.
I have a dream.
It's all about personal growth and guts.
Never give in. Never, never, never.
Welcome back to our show. Seema, that was 2 fabulous speeches that we experienced today.
Amazing, amazing. They were very great. And it was a learning from both speeches.
Right. What did you think worked really well in Dara's speech?
In Dara's speech, the simplicity of it. I thought she was going to come up with some really big, hefty 2 words that I would have to really work hard to remember. But she just brought in back. She made me think of the little train that said that he thought he could. Right.
Right.
He
right.
went up the whole mountains, keep saying, "I think I can. I think I can." And basically, that was the whole premise of her speech.
And the thing is, because it's simple, it's powerful,
It's
right?
powerful.
Because I think I could clearly, if I am to think about her speech 6 months from now, I would be clearly able to do that.
Exactly. All you have to remember, Manoj, is that you can.
Exactly. And the second speech was great. This is the first time I've seen audio-visual presentation over here at Toastmaster Time. It was just fun to listen to such a speech.
And that was such a great, unique tool to use. He basically, through Alan Rickman's sample, that video sample, he was able to summarize the entire techniques that he talked about, from voice, vocal variety, the tone of your voice. I thought of my kids at that time, because my kids, I was like, "Mom, you didn't mean to say it that way, but your tone was like this," which made me feel that you were mad at me, or that you were angry, or maybe a request when you asked me to do something. So
Exactly.
I could hear those things, but it was a great reminder of the tools and techniques that are available to us. And it's great that we learn the techniques, but we can define our style,
Right.
our own uniqueness, and stand out as a speaker.
Absolutely. And I loved the emotional appeal that PJ spoke about. And I think it's so relevant, where most presenters, when they go up, they come across as prepared. And part of what we all want is to show up with authenticity and really connect with the audience. And I felt I learned a lot of things today, something that I can go back and apply in my real life as well.
It's kind of like music, isn't it? PJ also mentioned that you have to keep the rhythm.
Right.
So it is almost like an orchestra. I was in an orchestra for 12 years. So it's almost like an orchestra where you're bringing together all these tools and techniques and maintaining a rhythm to really give a great performance to your audience.
Absolutely. And I love that we put on this show. This is because of District 57 Toastmasters, right? And the fact that we can come here, practice our speeches in video format is something that is great, and the impact is much more.
Exactly. And the speakers that come to Toastmasters, the people that come to Toastmasters to become a more impactful speakers are the ones that really want to get a really great message out to the masses.
Absolutely. And that is why I keep marketing Toastmasters to every single friend. Anytime they say, "Hey, I want to speak better in public," I say, "Why don't you just visit a Toastmasters club?" Because every speaker, it doesn't matter where they are, it's a journey. And that is something that I continue to see, especially at Toastmaster Time, that the people who come in here, whether they have been here for 2 years in Toastmasters or 5 years in Toastmasters, they really wow us the way they present it very professionally. And there's always some takeaway and something for us to think about.
Exactly. And no matter where you are in terms of work experience or speaking experience, everyone treats you like a peer. There's so much encouragement, there's so much support that you even forget that you're a newbie.
Exactly.
If you're a newbie.
Exactly. It's been now, I think, about 5 years since I joined.
Really?
And yeah, time has really flown by.
Amazing.
And it's a lot of fun. How many clubs are you a part of, Seema? Are you part of 1 or 2 clubs?
I'm part of one with Heart to Heart in Oakland.
Okay.
And I've only been in Toastmaster for a year and a half. And, it's not just about becoming a great speaker.
Right.
It's about improving your leadership too.
Exactly.
Within a year, I was able to become the area director, where I have 5 clubs under my leadership.
Fantastic. I want to acknowledge your evaluation today. I thought it was crisp. At the same time, you gave specific feedback so that both speakers, as professionally accomplished as they are, can always go back and improve their speeches, because there's no end to improvement, right?
Exactly. Thank you so much for that feedback, Manoj. Exactly, because we're always growing, and we are speaking to so many different types of audience that it's always great to hear new insights. And it's not always about feedback, right? But it's also about how did it impact you?
Exactly.
How did it impact someone different? So it gives them a good insight, whether you're male, female, different cultural background, because these messages hit you differently based on that too.
Absolutely.
So I think that's very insightful.
Thank you, Seema. And that pretty much that wraps our show. On behalf of everybody, I want to thank our volunteers and workers who have worked really hard to put up this show. As they say, it takes a village to put on a show like this. If you want more information about Toastmasters Time, please check out toastmasterstime.com. Toastmasters Time is sponsored by District 57 Toastmasters. If you want more information on District 57 Toastmasters, please check out d57tm.org. And again, if you just want to walk into a Toastmaster club and be part of our Toastmasters organization at any of the clubs, please check out toastmasters.org. On behalf of our evaluator Seema Giri, on behalf of our speakers Dara Connolly and PJ Quesada, I'm your host Manoj Ramanan, and I encourage you to keep talking.